Hello, students, both part-time and full-time. Welcome to Digital Marketing 3, Lesson 65, where we are still continuing with the first P of the marketing mix. Guys, remember, I'm just mentioning this first P because we have been discussing the product. Otherwise, these Ps do not have an order. It depends with what you want to start on, but normally, we start with products because that's what our consumers want to buy from us. So before we can even talk about the price, before we can even talk about the place, before we can even promote, we need to understand what the product is all about. Before we can even talk about people, before we can even talk about the processes, before we can even talk about the physical evidence, what is it that we want to promote? So that's why we have been talking about the product. And in the previous lesson, we spoke about the core product and the extended product. And there are questions that we also discussed that needs to be addressed whenever you are introducing the product. What core product is, you also need to know what is the extended or additional add-ons to the products are, because there is actually a difference between the two. So we are going to continue with the lesson on products, looking at what is it that informs the product. What kind of a feedback can we get, you know, in the consumption of the product that you are having? Because you know that the products that we have been using as consumers, they've been evolving from time to time. Think about Coke from Coca-Cola in 1950 and Coke from the same company now in 2005. Does it still taste the same? What about the packaging? Is it still the same? Think about a VW um, Golf from 1970s versus the one that is available now. Is it still the same? What is it that would inform companies to change the product or to improve the product? Think about Vaseline, the one that you used when you were born, when you were a child, in your 5, 10 years, in your teen times, as a teenager. Is it still the same Vaseline that you are using? What about the scents that are put in those Vaseline or the flavors? You'd realize, oh, you had Vaseline that was just plain, non-scented. But now you've got Vaseline cocoa butter, you've got Vaseline this, Vaseline that, the other one is blue, the other one is yellow. What informs that? Now you've got Coke Zero, Coke Vanilla, and so forth. Same thing with cars. What is it that is informing them? Is it only technology, or are they getting any insights from the customer? What role do customers play in the development and improvement of a product? That's what you are going to be looking at in this lesson. And at the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the marketing research in an online context, and you should also be able to discuss new product development in an online context. So realize that the digital environment does not only promote product, it also offers opportunities to develop new products. So how would you then develop a product? Research is always crucial. You need to conduct research to understand how your product is being used. So digital channels provide many options for learning about product preferences, and it can be used as a relatively low-cost method of collecting marketing research, particularly when trying to discover customer perceptions of product and services. Online tools should be evaluated according to how they can be used. Yes, you realize, I know that you can actually go through customer forums. All of a sudden, you realize that they are saying many things about your product. For example, if it's a Durex, you hear people talking about, I don't like how it smells. I don't like the lubrication of it, the way it smells, and stuff like that. Then Durex is busy collecting data. Then all of a sudden you see Durex banana, Durex apple, Durex strawberry, Durex this, and you think, oh, Durex are actually intelligent. They know that we need these things. No, they are not. They're getting it from you, your sentiments on digital platforms. The same thing with WhatsApp. Those data did not just come from nowhere. The blue ticks did not just come from WhatsApp's intelligence. It is because of the insights that they are getting on forums, and they are using those insights to innovate and to improve the products. So it becomes a cycle, you know. So brands are not only using the online environment to reach out to customers, they are also using the platforms to get information from the customers so that they can improve the products and have something better. The same thing with the cars that you are driving. All these products that you are using, guys, the improvements are actually coming from you through research. Of course, I'm not saying that companies are stupid at all. Of course, they also do have their research and development teams, but without research about what customers need and want, it becomes difficult for organizations to improve on their products. Then how do you conduct research online? So just like the academic research some of us have been doing, you can imagine some of the research that I'm doing myself. To have masters, you have to do a dissertation. To have a PhD, you have to do thesis. So I'm better positioned to be discussing research right now because I've done research myself, and I have published my research in a peer-reviewed journal. So if you search Abednego Banda on the internet and you say value creating practices, chances are that you see that I am a researcher myself. So you can use online focus groups, especially users who are not free to express themselves individually. You can always utilize focus groups. You can use online questionnaire surveys. You can use social media listening. You can use customer feedback in form of reviews, in form of complaints at Hello Peter, in form of ratings, and so forth. And you can use your web analytics. Online focus groups and questionnaire are actually tricky to rely on because consumers are not willing to participate in those. Think about you as a consumer. How many times have you received an email to complete a survey and you did not actually complete it? How many times whenever you are receiving a phone call from a network provider or an insurance company, then they say at the end of this phone call, can you please complete this survey, and you end the call as soon as that other person is left on their side? And companies are realizing this, and all of a sudden they are giving you incentives like, you know what, complete this survey and stand a chance to win a car. And all of a sudden, like, oh, wow, I'm going to win a car. Let me complete this survey. But still, it cannot be reliable because now customers are not expressing themselves naturally. They are expressing themselves because they with the hope of having a car. The same with paid surveys. Customers only complete those surveys because they know that there is a financial incentive or coupon. Sometimes you are given discounts on your next purchase, or coupons or gift codes on the next purchase. So it means that you are not doing it that naturally. You are just doing it because you are going to get some benefits out of it. But these are some of the data collection methods. There are plenty that you can use apart from these that are explained on the screen. So please do not complain and, hey, I say, but in the textbook, we're not seeing this. Yes, the textbook can have more, or I can have more, I can have something that is not on the textbook. But knowledge is infinity, guys. Knowledge is infinity. You can always come across something new. I can always come across something new. For example, you can use ethnography, but I'm not discussing ethnography here because that would be another topic for another day. Then the internet, guys, is becoming very dangerous for companies because at each and every stage, companies have to step up because of the speed for new products. So digital channels give instant access to target markets and provide platforms which enable new products to be developed more rapidly, as it is possible to test new ideas and concepts and explore different products options through online market research. Just think about it, guys. You know, last year while we were busy, uh, talking about the Samsung S24. This year, there's Samsung S25. People will be crazy about it. Then next year, there will be Samsung S26. Like, we can't breathe as consumers because the digital environment is actually granting room for constant development of products. The same thing with cars. Now I'm happy with my BMW 4 Series 2022 model. All of a sudden, BMW released the same series, a better one, which is now a 2025 model. Now I'm forced to trade in. You realize that throughout now in your life, you have to trade in more often because there are new products that keep coming, and all of a sudden you need to keep up with the new products. The same thing, you would be bragging about having an air fryer in your kitchen. Then Jiggy Jiggy, the same brand, introduces another air fryer that is better than the one that you have. Now you need to throw that one away, or you need to trade it in so that you can have a better air fryer. So that's the speed of new product development. And you realize that those brands that are not uh, responding to the speed, they then lag behind. Imagine if Apple takes 5 years to have another model, like it takes 5 years to have an iPhone 16 since there's iPhone 15. What does it say about their relevance in the market? It will be like maybe they are sitting on duty, they are not innovating, they are not producing anything. So sometimes companies are being forced to bring up new products in the market because their competitors are doing so. And the more you relax, the more you do not produce anything, you will be seen as a company that is lazy, as a company that is not innovating. Think about the car manufacturers as well, especially with the entrance of the Chinese manufacturers. If you are a VW and all your cars do not have a reverse mirror, for example, you are forced to release something that has got something that is better than what your competitors or the new entrants are doing. Then you also have the speed of new product diffusion. In the early days of the internet, to remain competitive, organizations would have to roll out new products more rapidly to international markets. However, Malcolm has emphasized the importance of word-of-mouth communication on the impact of the rate of adoption of the new product development. However, there are some organizations who are doing well. They will rely on the core product and keep on developing the extended product. So we can have the core iPhone, and then all of a sudden we just ask consumers to upgrade for a certain amount to match what competitors are doing. However, there's a tipping point, and the tipping point explains the three simple principles that underpin the rapid spread of ideas, products, and behaviors through a population. So some would stick to the law of a few. So I would only buy a product if few people are using it. I do not want to see anyone else using the same product. I mean, this was trending recently when you go to a mall and you bump into someone wearing exactly what you are wearing. How would you feel? From head to toe, they are wearing exactly what you are wearing. So some would try by all means, that I'd rather drive a 1960 Polo than drive these latest Polos that everyone has got. So I want to be one of the few. Then the sticknet factor, how does it stick to my culture? How does it stick to my style? How does it stick to my affordability, to my pocket, my wallet? How does it fit to my family and so forth? Then the power of context as well. For example, if you are always on the road and you do not have the time to wear suits, it means that the context will force you not to buy a suit even if you want one. Where are you going to wear one? So that's what you guys need to understand about the products. So we have discussed the products in the previous lesson. We discussed the core product and the extended product. In this lesson, we then discussed the relevance of research and how brands are developing rapidly as a result of the internet. So in the next lesson, we are then going to have an exercise and apply this by looking at existing products and how some brands are doing it from a product point of view.